It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
It's gonna be a scorcher out there. I know I don't have to say, it's already 90 degrees. At least my car said that when we came in. 90 degrees at 10 o'clock in the morning. So here's the thing. You all live in Memphis. I probably don't have to remind you of this, but you have pets. Please be careful. You have loved ones that are maybe older, living by themselves still. Go check. Because today, I believe they're saying it's going to get to 100. Okay? That's actual temperature. 100. Maybe 99 is what my phone is now saying. I think Channel 5 said yesterday it would be 100. To feel like is going to be plus 12. So that means 112 is what it's going to feel like. Tomorrow, even worse. Tomorrow, 100 feeling like 116 maybe, somebody said. So, again, hydrate like crazy. If you're playing golf today, look, you know how much I love golf. I'm not playing today. I'm not. If I were, of course, you know I would send you to Miramichi. But I wouldn't play today or tomorrow. Gonna be crazy. Saturday it comes down to, it's only going to be 98, but there's good chance of rain. Sunday, 96, it's a cool down. Holy smokes. So, look, it's really weird. By the way, sitting in for J-Mo, who's off today and tomorrow, is the one and only Brian Dacus. It's a long day for Mr. Dacus, who is going to be doing his show, Sports Time. And with J-Mo out, are you doing Johnny's show too?
I'll be here the rest of the day. Any local programming you hear on this station, I'll be a part of.
Lord. So you got Colin Cowherd from 1 to 3 to go eat lunch.
That's lunch
and
break.
Recoup.
That's correct.
Lord, that is a long, tough day for sure. But in all seriousness, respect the weather because it's going to feel like 112 today. And that is nuts. So, last night, we had a perfect game. It came from Domingo Germán. This is a good story, honestly, because a little over a month ago, Domingo Germán, who's having a bad year, like he hadn't had a win in his last 6 outings, okay? Having a bad year, had been suspended for 10 games because he had too much resin on his hand. So, every once in a while they do this, they check. I don't know what prompts it. Maybe the other dugout does. The home plate umpire that caught Germán with all that rosin, he said, when I checked his hands, it was the stickiest I'd ever felt anybody. Yeah. So here's a guy having a bad year, been suspended, doesn't really speak English, apologized for having too much resin, said he didn't realize that he had that much, never would do it again. So last night, I'm assuming he didn't, but he was brilliant last night. 9 strikeouts, no hits, no walks, no errors, 99 pitches. That is efficient, ladies and gentlemen. He had, at least from the replays that I saw, 3 really good defensive plays, particularly one really good one by my man, Riz, at first base.
Guy.
He's my guy. He's forever a Cub. He's face of the – he and Chris Bryant are Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, those are the faces of the Cubs that won the World Series, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think of that team, those are the first 2 names that come to your mind.
Right. And the second baseman, Baez. You got to put him in there.
That's true.
And really, the guy, the thing I thought was going to keep the Cubs so good for so long, also the shortstop who basically had the 1 year, and then domestic abuse, and he was never the same.
Right.
What's his name? I can't believe I can't remember
now. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Lord, I get that's terrible. I can't remember. Well, how's this? I was speaking with Jarvis Greer today. I shouldn't admit this. We'll be on later. I hope Jarvo's listening because I need to apologize to him.
Always good to get the apologies out of the way early in the morning.
Apparently, Jarvo and I had a conversation, like my wife says, 6 weeks ago, about I'm taking some time off next week. He's taking time off next week. We're going to be in the same area, which is fantastic. But I go, oh, you're kidding. Well, we got to get together with our wives. Let's go get lunch, lemonade, something, because, he doesn't imbibe any alcohol.
Sure.
I would say let's go get some wine, but he wouldn't drink it. And then I get off the phone. My wife goes, you had that conversation 6 weeks ago, and I swear to you, I don't remember it. So I'm actually going to ask Jarvis Greer about that.
Oh, that's hilarious.
At 10:45 today. Where we're going, by the way, we're going. I guess my wife doesn't like me telling when we leave, but we're not going to be here. We got people watching the home, so we shouldn't be worried. But so we're going to the Destin area. And have you seen this thing on riptides?
Yeah, they're
Do you know
bad.
how many people have drowned from riptides?
I don't know the number, but I mean,
it's 11.
Oh, good Lord!
11 in a little more than a month.
That's insane. They're bad. I mean, you gotta watch those flags and make sure.
Exactly. If there's a red flag out there, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going down to the Panhandle, it's all the way from Texas, by the way. If you're going down to Destin, or the Gulf Beach in Mississippi or Alabama, for that matter, and there's a red flag up there or a double red flag, don't get in the water, because these riptides, I'm a firm believer in global warming. They're getting worse, and here's the thing. Just a little shout out to this, thanks to my wife looking it all up today. The Today Show had a big piece on it too. So basically the waves come in, right? And then the water funnels back out. Well, the area that it funnels back out is the riptide. And when the waves are really big, those riptides are really strong. And you can't fight them. Most people who drown end up freaking out, fighting the riptide. So the thing is, if you get caught in one of those, you let it take you out a little bit till you regain a little bit of your capacity, and then you don't try to fight against it. You try to swim diagonally to the shore away from the riptide. So you're doing it sideways, getting out of the riptide, and you end up usually, they say, on a sandbar or something of that nature, but you get out of the riptide. It can take you out really quickly, though, so you may get freaked out a little bit. You may end up being taken out a ways, but eventually swim out of it. Don't try to swim against it. You have no chance. So, anyway, if you see a red flag, I'm full of warnings today. Heat warnings, riptide warnings.
The people know.
Yeah. So, anyway, back to our perfect game, so we'll get to good things. You realize that is the fourth in Yankees history. Very quickly, because you're a baseball guy. Most famous New York Yankee no-hitter.
Oh, my gosh. I saw these on Sports Center last night. They went through all of them. I can't even remember now.
Come on.
Nah,
perfect game in a World Series.
It's the Yankees.
Don Larson.
That's right. I'm ashamed of myself, Dave. I'll be honest.
You know what? I'm telling you right now, Brett Norsworthy would
he would have had it like that. Yep.
Well, he'd be scolding you for not knowing that.
He scolded me the other day. What did he say? He said something about an old player. I said, Brett, that's way before my time. He goes, well, you can read, can't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Great point, Brett. That's my fault.
I don't think Don Larson's was in 99 pitches though. That really was.
This is what Major League Baseball is looking for when they talk about quick games. When you can do a no hitter, or a perfect game, not even a no hitter, a perfect game in 99 pitches. That's what MLB wants.
Yeah, I don't know how quick it was though, because the Yankees scored 11 runs.
They scored a bunch of runs.
Yeah,
but he did his part.
No, he was incredible. Of course, it was Oakland too.
Yeah, a little asterisk beside it.
But so it's the fourth in Yankees history. Larson's being probably the most famous no-hitter of all I mean, perfect game of any perfect game. You know how many in history now? There's 24.
24.
But it was the first one since Felix Hernandez
King Felix
did it for Seattle in 2012. So we're talking 13 years since there had been a perfect game. I just like the story because he's been so bad, suspended, seems to be a nice enough guy, and so that is the way it works. I'm thinking of these perfect games and all this other stuff, and I had this conversation with a friend at lunch yesterday. And baseball, if you really think about baseball, it's all about one-on-one confrontations, right?
Yeah.
Defense, like Rizzo made the great play last night. Now, he did get help because he threw it over to Herman because it was a sharp hit between first and second base that Rizzo made a good play on. But for the most part, other than double play combinations where you really have to have timing and teamwork, it's pretty much one-on-one confrontation. Line drive, center field, diving catch. That's a good hit by the batter. That's a great play by the center field.
Yeah.
Right? Stolen base. That's you against the catcher. Right? So it's all a series, other than the double play combinations, of one-on-one confrontations. That being the case, why is chemistry so important on a baseball team? I've never been able to understand that. But think about it. It's one-on-one confrontations, but I'll give you two examples. Two teams that I thought could win the National League. The New York Mets, San Diego Padres, two of the highest salaries, payrolls in the business. The Mets 36-44, the Padres 37-43. They stink.
Yeah.
How can that be with such great talent? They don't have chemistry.
Yeah.
That's what everybody says. There's no chemistry in the clubhouse.
Yeah. Especially in San Diego. Oh man.
But when you think about it,
it is crazy.
Where do you need the chemistry?
It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. But I mean, that San Diego Padres team. I mean, I remember last year everyone just salivating over how many bats are in this lineup, how good this team can be, and they're awful. And I mean, the Fernando Tatis Jr. I love Fernando Tatis.
I do too.
But I mean, obviously that was a poor decision on his part, a bad spot. But after that, I mean, you think a team with good chemistry, everyone would come out supporting him. You know, we're all around him, like kind of the Grizzlies have done with Ja. I mean, everyone's really supporting him. We've got his back. We want him to get better. And for San Diego, like 3 or 4 guys in that clubhouse came out and was like, he's a child. He doesn't know how to act. I mean, if we could get him off the team, we'd love to. I mean, it was ridiculous. They have no chemistry. You're absolutely right, Dave.
Hey, it affects the team. It really does. I don't know if that's mental sharpness for those one-on-one confrontations or whatever it is. But if you ever talk to anyone, like we talk with Tim Doolin on baseball, he always talks about chemistry, and it clearly is important. You mentioned Ja and how everybody came out to him. Ja yesterday filed a motion to dismiss that civil lawsuit, which has been placed upon him by the then high school basketball player Joshua Holloway for allegedly assaulting him at a pickup basketball game. It's really weird. I've been reading all these accounts how I guess it was Mike Miller who had to, after Rebecca Edelman, who I've known in a past life, who she's the lawyer for Joshua Holloway, and she was basically making Mike Miller explain what a check ball is. Because that's where it happened. Apparently,
I would love to hear that interaction.
Holloway allegedly, during a check ball, fired the ball, hit Ja in the face.
Been there before. Yeah.
Ja came in and punched him. A punch, according to these legal motions and explanations, that was not much. And, that's it.
Yep.
And you got a litigious mother and thinking, here's a big chance to make a little bit of money. We'll see how it goes. Lawyers, I'll tell you right now, are making the money on this thing. Let's see if that portion of the civil lawsuit does indeed get dismissed. It was fun listening to Robert Dozier today.
I missed. I can't believe I missed. I was so mad. I was looking forward to it, and I just completely forgot about it. I didn't know he's in the Big Three.
Yeah, he's in the Big Three. And it dawned on me, if we go, my favorite team of all time will always, forever, at least at collegiate, my forever NBA favorite team is going to be Michael Jordan's Bulls. Although I'll tell you what, I love the Bulls. This is way before your time, that had Storm and Norman Van Leer, a blessed memory, Jerry Sloan, a blessed memory in the backcourt, Chet Walker and Bob Love, and the big guy from Tennessee, not a great player, but a good role player, was their center.
Well before my time, Dave.
That was a great team. But the Bulls with Michael and Scotty, those are my favorite pro teams. But there'll never be a team that I like more than the 2008 Tiger basketball team that should have been national champions. Everything was a perfect storm to end that, including when they're still up 9 with 2:12 to go, and inbounds where the guy stepped over the line, and they never caught it, and then there was a three that got them back rolling to get back into the game, and then they should have fouled, and there's a million things. But in listening to Robert Dozier, it really dawned on me, if you take that starting lineup, okay, D. Rose, CDR, Anderson, Dozier, Dorsey, not only great players, every one of them except Rose, and he'd probably be better because remember, he was a true freshman and got a little better as the year went on. Every one of those, great players, great interviews.
Yep.
Great interviews. Dozier was fantastic with the boys today. Just fantastic. Talking about raising his kid and if he's going to get into coaching and how he's got to be the disciplinarian and not sure he wants to do that with his son. And just really good, insightful stuff. It's been a tough year for him. I had an Achilles thing, but he's coming back. The first time he's going to play in like 16 months, I believe, is when he plays with the Big Three, trying to come back at 37 from an Achilles. That ain't actually easy, but he's played all over the world. But you think about it, if I did a list of like top 10 interviews that I've done since I've been doing Tiger games, either TV or radio, since 1986, number one all-time interview, CDR.
Really?
Chris Douglas Roberts
interesting
always was interesting, even before he became, what is he now?
Supreme Bay.
Supreme Bay?
Yeah. He's an interesting guy, but I'm sure he's a great interviewer. I believe it.
Always had an interesting perspective, a twist. KD is kind of the same way.
Yeah.
He'd be my top 5.
Really?
For sure. Yeah. But CDR would be number one. Antonio Anderson was terrific, very articulate. Dozier was really good. And Dorsey was great.
Yeah.
You never knew what Joey Dorsey was going to say.
That's great. I love
So,
that.
it was fun listening for sure.
That was one of the first Memphis teams I remember watching. I was 8, so I mean, very, very young. But I remember watching that whole season. One of the first I remember. Great team.
Well, no, it was a great team. Everybody underestimated them because they played in an inferior league.
Yeah.
I mean, CUSA in those days. Well, there were some decent teams. But no, it wasn't a great league. It wasn't like the Metro that they had played in before that, for sure. But what they did in that run, and obviously they should have been national champions. But you can go back. They could have lost really easily in Little Rock to Mississippi State when a 3 at the end by Hansborough rimmed out. I thought that was going in.
Yeah.
That nothing, all the lore that we saw to come would never have occurred. They won the second game easily. They go next week to Houston in what is now Energy Stadium. I think it was Reliant at the time. And they blow out Michigan State like it was 30-2. It was over. And the guy who was one of the best shooter in the Big Ten that year, whose name escapes me, couldn't do anything. They had Antonio Anderson on him, could not get a shot off. I mean, he was totally stymied, and they blitzed him. And then now you got to play Texas. In Texas, right? In Houston, not that far from Austin, and the whole place is orange. And Memphis kicks the you-know-what. Those fans were leaving at halftime, and they were going, you guys are just too good. They watched what they did to Michigan State. Then you go and you beat UCLA that has 3 or 4 NBA players on it.
Caleb and Westbrook on it. Oh, man.
And Love.
Yeah.
Kevin Love's on that team. Oh, my God, they kill him. And then
we don't got to talk about the last game.
Yeah.
I love seeing old Tigers. Like I said, when I was watching Big Three this weekend, I saw Robert Dozier. Did you ever see, because this one was one of my all-time favorites, seeing a former Tiger, did you ever see the movie Uncle Drew with Kyrie Irving in it where he's like dressed up as the old man?
Yeah.
Wesley Witherspoon's in that movie. He's one of the additional.
Right?
He's one of the teammates that comes and plays pickup. And I'm in the theater with a bunch of my buddies, and there's nobody in there. And I see Wesley Witherspoon walk on. I go, it's Spoon, it's Spoon. And all my friends are like, what are you talking about?
Was he wearing a backpack?
I can't remember. It was a long time ago, Dave. It was
I
a
gotta
great
tell you
game
something.
or movie. I guess.
Wesley Witherspoon was another good interview, and he met. When Memphis played in Atlanta against Auburn last year. Remember? And he came. I can't remember if it was the night before or the night after. Everybody was really happy, so it was probably the night that Memphis beat Auburn. But I said, it's really weird to see you without that backpack. He goes, hey, I'm wearing it all the time because I got newborns. And he had young kids. He's a high school coach in Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a lot of good fellas, that's for sure. Speaking of which, Tiger Hoops. Last thing before we take a break, and we're going to bring Russell Copeland in as we always do, talk a little football. But Billy Richmond, the third, and Curtis Givens. Billy Richmond started at East. Curtis Givens started at MUS. They have always been in ESPN's top 100. Now they have cracked the top 40. And, of course, most of the prognosticators are saying those guys will end up being Tigers. You, of course, for all of us here, keep up with all of the recruiting stuff. Do you agree with that? Or is Memphis the favorite on those two kids? That's the class of 2024.
24, that's right.
Right. So they got one more year of high school. Rising seniors, as they say. Do you think those two guys end up in Tiger uniforms?
Yeah, I think there's a really good shot for both of them. I mean, I saw Curtis Givens put his top 7 today. He had Memphis in there. A lot of good schools in the mix for Curtis Givens.
True point guard, right?
True point guard.
Yeah.
And tall too. I mean, he was at Huey's about a year ago. I saw him, and he's was probably
what do they list him at? 6'4"?
Probably 6'4". He was probably 6'2" then, so I'm sure he's grown a couple more inches. He's a tall guy. No, he's probably 6'4" then. But yeah, I think they have a really good shot with him, and then obviously with Billy Richmond's son. I mean, we know his ties run so deep here locally that I know a lot of schools have reached out to him. Got to think Memphis is in there too.
And I love Billy, the wing guru now, and he's a great guy too. Yeah. He's another good interview. But Billy Richmond, people forget he did not start at Memphis. He finished at Memphis. He started at Vandy. You know, he's a smart guy, and I think his son's a pretty smart guy. I sure hope that those local ties draw
I think it looks
him
good right now.
back into the Memphis fold. By the way, I told you there'd be a new sale at Family Leisure. Attention, everybody. Family Leisure needs your help clearing out their inventory. And to do so, man, there's tons of great deals throughout the store. For example, all do-it-yourself pools. They are $1,000 off. Special 24 feet round pools for less than $2,000. That is amazing. Select play gyms, $18.99. If you need patio furniture, they're up to 30% off in stock, up to $1,200 off on spas in stock. All you got to do is get there. I-40 and Whidden Road. And our title sponsor, it's Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's in Olive Branch, right at the corner of Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi off Highway 78, which is Lamar. Literally 10 minutes away. Turn left when you get there. Go see Chris True. Ask about the Genesis G70 deal, because they sell Genesis cars. Not all of the Hyundai dealerships are allowed to, but when you're as good as Homer Skelton Hyundai, they let you, and you'll love the service. All you got to do is travel there and then smile. Homer Skelton Hyundai. Back in a minute, we talk football with the Russell Copeland. He's right around the corner.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
It's the season for a new ride from Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat 1901 Covington Pike. Talk about huge savings. Gossett's got 2023 Dodge Charger SXT, and we Gossett at $30,990 or $428 a month. You ready to roam? How about a 2023 Jeep Gladiator Sport 4x4? We Gossett now just $640 a month, and you'll find Dodge Muscle in your 2022 Dodge Charger Scat Pack. We're talking $4,000 off at Gossett, and if we don't have exactly what you're looking for, Gossett will order it for you today. So drive past the rest and come to the best at Gossett on the Pike, or shop online at GossettMotorCars.net. If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motorcars.
84 months at 6.99 APR, 3,500 down. Charger PH 504,815, MSRP 35,630. Gladiator PL 55,6199, MSRP 52,970. Charger NH 267,934, MSRP 57,715. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through the end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Nothing says summer like an ice-cold Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Smooth, refreshing, real brewed tea with 5% alcohol. Look for Twisted Tea in the bright yellow cans. Keep it twisted!
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
My house is good and cool today, and you in these scorching heat wave days. It's all because of Conway, 384-3511. I told you I had a little problem. They came to my rescue. I'm a Comfort Club member, which means I get a little priority. You could be too, 384-3511. But they do reach out even if you don't, and you get on the list. If you've got a problem and you are sweltering, they come and they help you. They did for me because we had a problem. One of the systems went out. And, I mean, the very next day they came in, they figured it out, they fixed it, I'm good. 384-3511. In times of need, you got to have people you can trust, right? Conway is that company, 384-3511. I always trust in my man when it comes to football. That would be Russell Copeland, who joins us now. You were spot on. You thought that the game between Pittsburgh and Michigan would be close. You thought Birmingham would be too much for New Orleans. I thought you'd think that game would be a little closer. But now you've got your USFL championship, and Birmingham has to be the overwhelming favorite. Do you realize, Russell, they are 20-3 over the last 2 years with Skip Holtz as their coach? That's incredible.
Absolutely. And when you look at Skip Holtz and his staff, it's more of a collegiate type of staff, and what they've been able to do the past couple of years is outstanding. Skip Holtz, has a football team, Dave, that's very good on both sides of the football. They're well coached. They don't make a lot of mistakes. And I tell you what, Magoo is showing that he deserves another opportunity, at least to get into an NFL camp. I mean, he reminds me a lot of Johnny Manziel, the way he played in college, how he's able to manipulate defensive linemen, get outside the pocket, step up in the pocket, and he hasn't thrown a lot of interceptions. He's playing really good football right now.
Do you think he is good enough to be an NFL quarterback?
I think he's good enough to be on the NFL roster? Yes. If you're asking me, can he start? A lot of intangibles have to go in, but I think he can definitely be a second or a third quarterback in the National Football League. Yes.
What would be the intangibles for him to become a starter? Is he tall enough? Is he quick enough? Is his arm strong enough?
I think he has all of those intangibles, but he has to be put into a right position. And your guy, Baker Mayfield, you look at him and how he's bounced around. Is Tampa Bay going to be the right suit for him? He has to be able to get put in the right system, but he's going to have to be able to get an opportunity to play and show his skills. Right now, he's a backup, but if the opportunity comes and he's in the right system, I think that he can definitely eventually be a starter in the national.
Well, let's just clarify here. Baker Mayfield is not my guy. My guy is Justin Fields or Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, we can go with that. I just know that you definitely respected Baker Mayfield when he played well.
Yeah.
You know, he was getting his opportunity. But you know, what I love about this league, talking about the USFL, I think there's a lot of fringe guys, Dave. I think there's guys that either got into trouble when you look at a former first-round picks, or guys that have been tweeners, meaning that practice squad guys are able to make the 53-man roster. What this league has been able to do for me is see those players get film work, and I think those players, a lot of these players, Magoo in particular, deserves an opportunity to get into a camp, and especially at the quarterback position. There's an opportunity for the quarterbacks. There's not a lot of great quarterbacks in the National Football League.
I agree.
Good quarterbacks, but you don't have a lot of great quarterbacks.
I think that's spot on. That is, maybe the hardest position in any sport.
Absolutely.
Because you have to have unbelievable arm, unbelievable mechanics, and an unbelievable mental capacity to pretty much know everybody's job on the offensive side. You got to know what that line is doing and how that works. You obviously have to know receivers. You have to know where running backs come into play. You've got to know everybody's position.
And you have to be able to change the play. So you have to know 2 or 3 different plays based on the defense, and you have to make split decisions when defenses are running, when the defensive line is fast, and be able to know who the open man is. And last but not least, you have to be a leader, and you have to have thick skin.
You have to have thick skin, absolutely. Not just from your fans, but from your coaches as well, because everything, the buck stops, obviously, with you. All right, so what's going to happen with Birmingham and Pittsburgh?
You know, they say defense wins championships, and you hear me say that all the time. I just think that Birmingham has the defense as well as Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has a really good defense, but I don't know if they're going to have enough offensive weapons to be able to keep up with Birmingham. I like Birmingham. I'm not going to necessarily say a blowout, but I like Birmingham by double digits, at least 10 to 14 points. I like Birmingham. They're just too strong all the way around offensively.
Brian, what is the line? Can you find the line on
I'll find
that
the line
game? I'm going to say Birmingham is going to be 8-point favorites. That's my guess.
I give them 2 touchdowns. I give them
2 touchdowns. Wow.
I give them 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I give them 2 touchdowns.
Okay. I hope it's well watched. I don't know what the semifinals, how they went. I hope it is. Brian, you got the answer?
A touchdown, 7 points.
7 points. Wow. Okay. Hey, you're right there. You're closer than me, Dave. We'll see. But I really enjoyed this past weekend. I really thought that New Orleans was going to play Birmingham a little bit closer. But what it is, they dictated the game. And when you look at New Orleans has the type of team that they need to keep it close. They need to win on first down, run the football. And I think they got away from the run. And once they got away from the run, then they were pretty much out of the game.
You were a part of this. I always talk about how important special teams are. And a third of the game is special teams, and people forget. And, that was part of the Showboat's success. They had a great field goal kicker. It was a great story because he almost got cut. I mean, they waived him, and then they brought him back, and then he was great. But the guy that really got the honor was Derek Dillon, because he had several returns, including one that was big for the Showboats, a 99 kickoff.
Hey, we're cutting out, guys.
We hear you perfectly. Can you hear us?
Okay, you cut out for a split second. But, yeah, we were talking about special teams. Go on, Dave.
So Derek Dillon is the special teams player of the year for the Boats. How good a player – you played that position, returner. How good a returner is Dillon? Is he a guy who could do that in the NFL?
He's an outstanding returner. He has amazing speed. His vision is good. The thing that gets me about the National Football League different than USFL, the USFL, they definitely promote safety, but they want to have good returns to bring that excitement. The NFL is doing opposite of that. They're not really wanting a lot of returns. So I think he could be a great return in the NFL, but I don't know how many opportunities since the rules changed for the NFL. But I think he's just as good as the MVP of the championship last year, plays for the Dallas Cowboys. I think his name is Tarpley. He's just as good as him. He does an outstanding job of setting up his block. And I talk about the speed. He has the speed. He has the vision. He's just a big play guy when the ball is in his hand. So hopefully he'll get an opportunity to get into someone's camp as well.
I am curious. The USFL set it up where you could kick return by rules. And so I don't know what the starting line of starting yard line after a kickoff is in the USFL, but I'm going to say it's somewhere between 38-yard line and 41-yard line. It's close to the 40-yard line is where you start your first possession after a touchdown or to begin a game or half. I kind of like it. It obviously promotes offense. What did you think about it?
I loved it. And you talked about, me playing returner. You get an opportunity to jumpstart your offense. And, when you're starting at the 40-yard line, 41-yard line, you only have, 30 yards to go to get in field goal range. That's what it is. That's when you look at college, when you look at the NFL, it's about offenses. And if you go to the National Football League and you can get a starting point of 35 yards with how offenses are today, you've done a tremendous job for your offense. So I love what the USFL did as far as the kickoff returns. It was a lot of excitement. And I'm telling you, Dylan, he was a player to watch. And also this weekend, Deion Kane, former Clemson wide receiver, got picked by the Colts, played with the Eagles. He's dangerous as well. He has 2 kickoff returns back in the league this year. So he's going to be exciting to watch as well.
Would you say to the NFL, do more like the USFL on kick returns?
I would like that, but I understand what the NFL is doing. The NFL, they're more on promoting safety. They don't want the big collisions with the blocking backs and the big collisions on kickoff return. But for me, I would love to bring that part of the game back in because it's very exciting. And let's be honest about it. Special teams can win you 3 games from field goal kicking to special teams as far as kick returning, block kicks or whatever. You need to get that aspect. For me, I feel like back into the National Football League. It brings a lot of excitement, and it helps your offense.
All right, speaking of the National Football League, every week you kind of go over a division in a conference. We're working NFC North, my favorite, of course, because of my Chicago bias. So you had Minnesota 13-4 last year. They won the division. Detroit.
It's AFC,
what?
AFC North.
Oh, I thought you said NFC North. Okay.
AFC North.
So let's go AFC North. You start.
Well, of course, you have to start with Cincinnati. If you look at them, they've been a game out of going to the Super Bowl. You lose to the Rams a couple of years ago, and you lose to Kansas City. I think they're going to be the favorite. But I think all of these teams, Dave, I think all of them have high expectations, but there's also question marks. Cincinnati, can they get over the hump and can they finally win a Super Bowl? They went out and got Zeus, the big offensive lineman, the left tackle that's from Kansas City. Also, he's played for Baltimore. They went and got that solidified offensive line. You look at Baltimore Ravens now, they paid Lamar Jackson his money. So that's over with. That's done with. Now they've given him weapons. Now, will he be able to step up? He says that he's a really good passer. He's shown signs that he's a better passer than what people think he is. He has Odell Beckham. He has Bateman. He has some other receivers that's there. Let's see if he can step up. He has a lot of good running backs in the backfield. Now you look at the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns, when you look at them, disappointing last year. If anyone thought that Deshaun Watson was going to come back after a year and a half loss and thought that he was going to be the type of quarterback that's a Pro Bowl quarterback, they really don't know anything about football. Now he has to step up. He has his wide receivers. He has his offensive line. He has another year under his belt. And then there's the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think Mike Tomlinson is an outstanding coach. He's never had a losing season. Can Kenny Pickett step up and now lead this team in his second year? That's going to be the biggest question mark. It's going to be a close division right now. I got Cincinnati, I got Baltimore, and I got Pittsburgh moving in ahead of Cleveland as of right now. Things will change after camp, but those are my top 4.
So if Kenny Pickett steps up, will he be hitting Calvin Austin a bunch?
You know, it's really good to see Calvin Austin healthy, and I think the emergence of Calvin Austin possibility could really be a big play man for Kenny Pickett because you already got another receiver on the other side. You went out and got what's the wide receiver that they got from Chicago? Play with Chicago. They've got him.
Well, don't they have Miller, who also was in Chicago?
Yeah, they got Anthony Miller, and I think the situation with Anthony Miller is if those young receivers step up, I think Anthony may get released. I would love to see him get an opportunity with him, but they've got a lot of young receivers that are playing outstanding football right now. But if Kenny Pickett can step up, they've got a good running game. I look at them being right there at number 3.
We were talking about quarterbacks earlier about how there's a lot of good quarterbacks, but not many great quarterbacks in the league. This grouping with Joe Burrow, with Lamar Jackson, with Watson, with Pickett, who's supposed to emerge as one of the great new young guys.
Yes.
Woo! Burrow's clearly the best quarterback in that division, or is he?
Well, I'm not going to say he's clearly the best. I love Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson outstanding. And if Deshaun Watson can get back to his form where he was in Texans, those 3 quarterbacks are really good. And I think Kenny Pickett does make that step. And when we were talking about wide receivers, he's got Pickens. Pickens is the young wide receiver from Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
Last year, played very well. They've got a good receiving core. They've got a good running back. This is going to be a really tough division, and we all know it's a black and blue division. So when it gets to November and December, whoever can play that type of defense and run the football is going to win that division. And, you know, Cincinnati's got Joe Burrow, but he's got to stay healthy. They've got to protect Joe Burrow better than they had the past couple of years.
I agree with you, too. I think Watson's the wild card there. If he can return to form, I mean, he's a great player. But that sometimes when you take off that long, you never return to the form. We shall see. Your form is always terrific. Russell Copeland, thank you much. We're off next week. We'll pick it up in 2 weeks.
Thank you, man. Enjoy the holidays.
Thank you. You too. That is our man, Russell Copeland. He's brought to you by Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. Ken knows you're making a huge financial commitment when you make the decision to either build your dream home. Maybe you had some land in your family, weren't sure exactly how to utilize it. Ken knows. Maybe you're looking for land. He's got that too. But whether you're going to build the dream home or you're going to stay in your home, but you want the modern amenities. You want the video room, the media room. You want the island in the kitchen. You want those granite countertops. You want California closets. You want all the new things that are great, but you don't want to leave your very comfortable home and your location. So he knows how to bring modern amenities and make your house a modern palace. It's called renovation with innovation. He does it all. Go see what I'm talking about. Go to kengarland.com and then call 751-1632. 751-1632. That's the number to your dreams for building. That's Ken Garland, Custom Home Builders. When we come back, it's Jarvo time on Wolo and Friends.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I have so many people tell me they hear my ads on this station and that they want to know if I'm really as bad a golfer as everyone says. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors. And yes, I hate to say I am. I wish I were in my 90s because I could then tell people I shoot my age. But being a bad golfer is not terrible because I devote so much of my time to selling homes to keep my clients happy. Over the many years in the real estate business, I developed a highly successful strategic marketing program, not merely a listing program. Using preparation, presentation, and proper pricing, it works. If you're thinking of selling, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. Find out why people often say that when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. That's Shell Dunn Rosengarten, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now. Shell Dunn, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's gonna fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The Kia Summer Sales Event is on at Gossett Kia on the Pike. And if you're ready to roll, we're ready to rock and roll with World Performance Car 2023 Kia EV6 Wind. EPA estimated range 310 miles now, $499 a month, $49.99 to its signing. And 2023 Kia Sportage LX only $288 a month, $34.99 to its signing. And the luxury 2023 Kia K5 LXS, $299 a month, $31.99 to its signing, all 36-month lease. Plus peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage. K5 PG 211,771, MSRP 26,152. Sportage P17 3696, MSRP 27,077. EV6 P5 60,3394, MSRP 50,325. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offers valid through 6/30/23. Dealer stock only. Warranties and limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
I mentioned earlier, if you're playing golf, be careful, hydrate, that's for sure, with it feels like 112 degrees out there in the heat of the day. Here's one place you can play and be a little bit safer, and that's Miramichi, because there's a lot of shaded areas at Miramichi. Hit to the shaded areas. That would be one suggestion. But they also keep a lot of water all over the golf course. Obviously, they have a great pro shop where you can load up on water, Powerade, Gatorade, all that other good stuff. But on the course, you can refill too, and they got the halfway house. They're very sensitive to the needs when it gets this hot. Miramichi, well, they even accommodate the heat this way. You play after noon, you get $10 off. You play after 3, you get $13 off. They're always thinking at Miramichi in Woodstock, 12 minutes north of downtown Memphis. Jarvis Greer joins us. I got to start with an apology, Jarvo, because we had a conversation this morning about maybe getting together when we're off next week away from home. And I was so excited that you were going to be in that area. And my wife goes, Dave, you had that conversation with Jarvis 6 weeks ago. And I swear, Jarvo, I don't remember that conversation. So if I did, I apologize to you.
That's all right, man. At least be on vacation. Nothing's wrong when you're on vacation.
Apparently, right? I need it because I don't remember talking to you about that. So,
well,
anyway.
Some things happen when you get a little bit older.
Yeah.
And hey, we both are there. I have my senior moments myself.
All right. What did you think of the trade? Because you are a member of the Grind City Media. What did you think of the trade? What do you think about the acquisitions that they did with the draft? And who do you think they're going to target with that one open roster spot for the Grizz?
Well, first of all, the trade. I think Memphis gets an A+ for that. I hate to see Stones go. Tyus Jones is a great player for the Grizzlies. He served his role very, very well, but he always wanted to be a starting point guard. He was good enough to be a starting point guard in this league, and they were paying him starting point guard money as a backup to John Morant. And he did everything he was supposed to do. But, there's the time to make a move, and this is the time now. They said that future window, the window's in the future, the window's here now. They make a big move to bring in Marcus Smart from the Celtics. Marcus Smart, of course, from former Oklahoma State star. I think we talked about that already.
Yeah.
The similarities to Tony Allen are just incredible, except Marcus Smart's a better offensive player than T.A. was. But, and he's on a great contract. You got him for 3 years, and that perfectly coincides with the window with this team, with Jaren Jackson Jr., Ja, and Desmond Bane, who's about to make some big bucks. Plus, the Grizz now have two back-to-back defensive players of the year on their roster, one the big man in Jaren, and the other a guard, a wing, in Marcus Smart. And we'll see how it works out chemistry-wise, but I don't see it being a problem. Plus, they get a guy with lots of playoff experience and making deep runs. And I'm not talking about first-round exit. I'm talking about deep runs in the playoffs from the Eastern Finals to the NBA Finals, and that can only help.
Well, leadership too in the locker room. They were looking. You mentioned all that experience, and that has been a negative. All the youth, doubling down on youth, as Zach Kleiman had said earlier this year in the exit interviews.
Tripling down last draft.
Yeah,
they tripled down.
So this makes a lot of sense for the locker room as well.
Yeah, definitely, because this guy he very famously got into it with Jaylen Brown, I think. And with another couple of Celtics during one of the playoff rounds last season. And, I think they had some chairs thrown in the locker room. But he's not putting up with mess if anybody's not doing what they're supposed to do. And I think, that goes for on and off the court because he wants to win. He is a winner. He wants to win. He has shown that, he makes winning plays. That, come playoff time, whatever you want to say about him, he always shows up during the playoffs, and that was one kind of if there was a knock on Tyus Jones, the last year playoff, he did not really play all that well, and he had one really good series, and that was against his former team, Minnesota, the year before,
right?
And then after that, it was just kind of hit and miss. But this guy is a big time player during the prime time, so hopefully that'll work out.
Well,
you talked about. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, if you look now, the way Zach used the draft and everything else, you got one open slot. It's for $12.4 million mid-level exception. You still need a wing. If you look, Memphis has 4 really good guards. They are deep at the big man position. They are relatively weak at the wing position. Who are you going after?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do between a wing and a big. You say they're deep at the big. They said that Steven Adams is coming along well, but we still don't know exactly what his health is. Brandon Clark, from all the videos we've seen, TikToks we've seen, looks like he's progressing very well. But still, you don't expect to have him early in the year or at least before Christmas. I wouldn't think coming off that Achilles injury. They may use it just as a rental. Just to get someone, a backup big that'll be ready to go, ready to play, and then they could move them at the trade deadline for somebody else, or just go ahead and eat that, but not somebody that's going to send them into the luxury tax this year. I think they'll, from what Zach Kleiman, King Kleiman says, the owner Robert Pear is ready to spend, but I don't think it's this year. I think they've made their big move. It'll be for next year when they will be in the luxury tax once they pay. Dez his money. And
well, they're going to have 2 guys that are approaching $200 million contracts.
Yep. Well, that's kind of what you got to have to if you want to win titles. And they are poised. I think this is a good team, Dave. This is a very good team, and they are poised to be on that trajectory. I mean, that trajectory is here now. So I see them spending the money next year. I can't really tell you anybody they target now because I don't know if it'll be between another wing or a big, but that other wing may already be on the roster depending on how, Jake LaRavia, they talked some about him, but especially Zaire Williams and David Roddy, how they perform coming up here, before Christmas time.
Right. They're all playing. Is Zaire Williams playing in the summer league again?
Well, what I heard, he's not. I thought he would,
because
I think he needs it. But what I've heard is that he's not. We'll see. Laravia is, and he needs to play because he started out pretty good, but then he got sick, and then when he came back, he just never was able to get back in the rotation. And David Roddy's a player. I think they got a rotation player in him. He got better as the year went along.
I wouldn't argue that one with you. Speaking of summer league teams, I'm excited about this last thing with Jarvo for a couple of weeks. Golden State summer league team. That you realize they got 8 guards on this team. We got KD. We got Lester Quinones. Remember Yuri Collins, who played so good against the Tigers in St. Louis last year? He's one of the guards. So there's 3 of their 8. I can't believe you have 8 guards on a summer league team. That's what Golden State's got.
Well, I'm just happy they got a couple of Tigers out there. I'm really happy for KD, Kendrick Davis. I think he's going to do well wherever he is. I don't know if he's going to actually get on a roster this year, but I think he'll be good enough where somebody will pick him up, and then he'll have a chance. I think he'll get a chance to prove himself somewhere down the line in this league. Can I say one more thing before you let me go?
Absolutely.
Congratulations to Derek Dillon from the Memphis Showboats. He got the Special Teams Player of the Year. And he also has that Special Play of the Year. Remember that 109-yard missed field goal return?
Right.
And that was against the Pittsburgh Maulers, who are playing in the championship this weekend. And the Showboats beat them 22-0. So that shows you how the disparity between the North Division and the South Division. Showboats beat them 22-0, and they gave the Stallions, Birmingham, a really good game. And that last game of the year in Birmingham should win this going away.
Dillon, by the way, had the kick 6. He also had another 90-yard kickoff return later in the year. Yeah,
that was against Birmingham.
Yeah, he is definitely the real deal. I hope he gets a chance somewhere in the NFL.
I do too.
Coming
he
season.
deserves it. He was on that LSU team that won the national championship.
Absolutely.
So he's got the pedigree. We'll see how that.
Happy 4th of July. I'm going to call. We're going to go to lunch one day. Okay.
That'll be great, Dave.
Right.
That'll be great. Have fun.
You too. Safe travels. Thank you. Jarvis Greer, brought to you by the Eflin Insurance Team. That's former Tiger with another former Tiger, businessman Tiger, who loves the Tigers, loves the football team, loves the basketball team, and loves to work with you. And that's what he does. He collaborates with you on insurance. Matt Eflin and his team standing by at 901-386-4777, which spells out GER, because he loves the Tigers. If you are looking for auto insurance, if you're looking for life insurance, maybe a home program, he gets to know you, your family, what your budget is, and then he protects you. Same thing with small to mid-sized businesses. That's his specialty. He'll know your product, your employees, what your budget is. You get protected across the board. If you call 901-386-GER, that's how you get protected the right way with the right team, the Eflin Insurance Team. That'll do it for us. Tomorrow, Andy Schiffman, more NBA. Brian Dacus on who knows what, but we'll figure something out. He'll be with us then. Johnny Radio is next. Have a great rest of your day. Stay cool.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage, K5 PG 211,771, MSRP 26,152, Sportage P17 3696, MSRP 27,077, EV6 P5 60,033.94, MSRP 50,325. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offers valid through 6/30/23. Dealer stock only. Warranties and limited powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
Hey, Jeff Allen, I hear the summer sales event is up and ready to command the road at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah.
You heard right, Randy. The summer sales event is bringing you the World Performance Car. 2023 Kia EV6 Wind EPA estimate range 310 miles, now $499 a month, $49.99 due at signing. Plus a 2023 Kia Sportage LX, only $288 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And a luxury 2023 Kia K5 LXS, $299 a month, $31.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
And you always get Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off of Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday, Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $8.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $10.95. And veggie plate, $9.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
Don't miss July 4th savings now at Lowe's. Save up to an additional $1,000 on select major kitchen appliances. Plus, save up to $3,800 on select 4-piece Samsung kitchen suites. And save on your choice of a DeWalt 20-volt max brushless drill kit or impact driver kit. Just $99 each for a limited time. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/5. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
Nothing says summer like an ice-cold Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Smooth, refreshing, real brewed tea with 5% alcohol. Look for Twisted Tea in the bright